Leroy and Stitch from 2006 follows Lilo, Stitch, and their extended family of genetically engineered experiments as they confront new operational challenges, ethical dilemmas, and relational responsibilities in order to protect their community and maintain harmony in both the human and intergalactic realms. The narrative expands on themes of leadership, moral responsibility, relational intelligence, teamwork, and personal growth, highlighting the importance of strategic coordination, ethical judgment, and relational awareness in complex, high-stakes environments. Stitch embodies adaptive problem-solving, relational insight, moral discernment, and operational competence, while Lilo exemplifies empathy, relational intelligence, ethical reflection, and resilience. The extended experiments, with diverse abilities and unpredictable behaviors, provide a narrative framework to explore the integration of cognitive skill, moral reasoning, and relational competence in high-stakes, multifaceted scenarios. The plot intensifies when the antagonist, Leroy, a new experiment created by Dr. Jumba Jukiba, escapes and threatens to dominate both Earth and the galaxy, challenging the protagonists to manage multiple ethical, operational, and relational threats simultaneously. Lilo, Stitch, and the other experiments must navigate both internal group dynamics and external adversaries, demonstrating the importance of collaboration, trust, and strategic problem-solving in achieving shared objectives. The story emphasizes that effective heroism and personal growth arise from harmonizing intellect, ethical reflection, and relational intelligence while addressing both immediate and long-term consequences of action. Relational dynamics are central to the narrative. Lilo's bond with Stitch, strengthened through previous experiences, provides a foundation for trust, coordination, and ethical guidance as they work to neutralize Leroy. Stitch's role as a leader and mentor to the other experiments demonstrates relational intelligence, illustrating that guidance, empathy, and cooperation enhance both operational effectiveness and moral reasoning. The interactions among the experiments highlight negotiation, trust-building, and collaborative problem-solving, underscoring that relational competence is essential for managing complex challenges and maintaining ethical and operational balance in high-stakes environments. Leroy functions as a primary antagonist, representing ambition, aggression, and ethical corruption, creating both practical and moral threats that demand strategic thinking, adaptive problem-solving, and relational coordination. His actions illustrate the dangers of power without ethical reflection or relational awareness, contrasting with the protagonist's emerging moral and relational maturity. The narrative demonstrates that confronting such ethically compromised adversaries requires not only skill and strategy, but also relational insight, empathy, and ethical clarity, emphasizing that heroism involves the integration of cognitive, moral, and relational capacities. Action, adventure, and operational sequences, including battles, containment strategies, and coordination among the experiments, blend problem-solving, ethical reasoning, and relational coordination. The protagonist's collaborative efforts illustrate the integration of cognitive skill, ethical judgment, and relational intelligence in high-stakes scenarios, highlighting that heroism and effective agency are multidimensional processes. These sequences reinforce themes of courage, adaptive thinking, moral responsibility, and relational competence as essential components of both personal growth and operational success. Psychological and ethical dimensions are explored through the evolution of Stitch and the other experiments as they confront threats, navigate relational challenges, and exercise moral judgment. Stitch's leadership and relational guidance illustrate the transformative potential of empathy, ethical reflection, and relational intelligence, while Lilo's moral framework reinforces accountability, perspective-taking, and relational awareness. Leroy's destructive ambition provides a foil, highlighting the importance of integrating cognitive skill, ethical reasoning, and relational insight to address high-stakes challenges. The narrative demonstrates that personal growth, ethical courage, and relational competence are inseparable from effective decision-making and responsible agency. Themes of empowerment, relational trust, ethical responsibility, teamwork, and leadership are central to the narrative. Stitch's and Lilo's collaborative efforts exemplify the transformative potential of relational intelligence, moral discernment, and adaptive problem-solving. The management of the extended experiments reinforces the importance of accountability, strategic coordination, and relational oversight in achieving ethical and operational goals. The story emphasizes that heroism, leadership, and personal growth are not solely functions of individual skill or power, but arise from the capacity to act ethically, maintain relational harmony, and navigate complex, dynamic environments with awareness and adaptability. The climax integrates cognitive, ethical, and relational threads as Lilo, Stitch, and the other experiments confront Leroy, neutralizing the threat and restoring harmony to both Earth and the galaxy. Resolution requires strategic foresight, ethical discernment, relational coordination, and adaptive problem-solving, illustrating that multidimensional heroism emerges from harmonizing intellect, morality, and interpersonal competence. The narrative concludes with a synthesis of courage, relational awareness, ethical clarity, and personal growth, demonstrating that effective agency involves balancing individual mastery, ethical responsibility, and relational engagement to achieve meaningful and enduring outcomes. Cinematography, visual design, and musical composition enhance narrative immersion, thematic depth, and emotional resonance. Expressive character animation, imaginative alien environments, and dynamic action sequences are rendered with clarity and creativity, while musical scoring emphasizes emotional, relational, and ethical stakes. Technical execution supports thematic and narrative exploration, ensuring that visual and auditory spectacle complements cognitive, ethical, and relational dimensions, rather than serving solely as entertainment. The integration of visual, auditory, and narrative elements underscores the multidimensional nature of heroism, ethical agency, and relational intelligence. Ultimately, Leroy and Stitch presents a narrative in which cognitive skill, ethical reasoning, relational intelligence, and adaptive action converge within morally, operationally, and relationally complex environments. The film emphasizes that mastery, heroism, and responsible agency arise from integrating intellect, moral clarity, emotional insight, and relational coordination. By blending action, ethical inquiry, psychological exploration, and relational complexity, Leroy and Stitch reinforces the appeal of protagonists who harmonize skill, morality, and relational awareness to navigate high-stakes, multifaceted, and morally nuanced scenarios, illustrating that true heroism requires the alignment of personal growth, ethical responsibility, and relational competence in transformative and socially complex contexts.